Hi guys, I was thinking the other day about something I'm going to call the Tinkerbell effect in religion, which is that you have to believe for it to work. And I noticed that in the Bible, faith is a very big component. You have to have faith in God, you have to have faith in prayer for prayer to work. And very often, if Christians pray for something and it doesn't work, the reason is because their faith wasn't strong enough. And I can see that there may be very, very real reasons why, ignoring the brainwashing, ignoring the fact that that enables Christian leaders or religious leaders to mean that the reason prayer doesn't work is because you simply lacked enough faith. Even if you believed wholeheartedly 100% in the power of prayer and that you were going to get whatever you prayed for, if you don't get it, you can always find some way to somehow kid yourself that maybe there was a tiny, tiny percentage of you that didn't believe quite 100%. And let's be honest, 100% faith is almost impossible to have. But it's a very good reason, in my opinion, why faith and belief in the power of prayer can actually deliver curative effects, especially in minor personal ailments. I'm sure many of you will remember the movie with Robin Williams called Patch Adams, in which I guess the principle was that laughter is the best medicine. And he basically went into hospitals and just tried to entertain the people who were suffering. And that was found to have a measurable effect in their well-being. So it's quite clear that there is a connection between your mind and your well-being, not merely in how you feel, but actually in your physical capability to be more well. It's another of the reasons why homeopathy is considered, even though there's absolutely zero scientific evidence for the actual potions to work, that the placebo effect of the potions still produces measurably better results than if you didn't take the potions and believe they were going to work. And let's be honest, if you were going to pay £50 for a potion, you'd better believe it's going to work. So I have been in a situation where I went for Reiki, and I tried to be open-minded to it. The reason that I had a very long-term back injury, and I said to myself that it was possible that there were somehow electrical fields. All the body has, is electrical currents, all of the nerves and all of that kind of stuff. And you can even measure the electrical field of the human body. So it occurred to me that even though I'm very rational, that there could be some way in which the electrical field of the healer was interacting with my own electrical field and helping me to become healed. In fact, I've heard many, many stories of Reiki practitioners who can detect where injuries are without having to be told, which kind of lent some weight to the proposition that there may be electrical fields which people can perceive that others can't, that you can train yourself to perceive, and that those electrical fields are disharmonious, if you like, in sites of injury. Now, this is completely unproven scientifically so far as I'm aware, but it seemed plausible to me. So I kept an open mind to whether or not Reiki might work, and I've had two occasions where Reiki was performed on me, and on neither occasion I felt any measurable difference whatsoever except for being relaxed. And grateful I am to the person who performed it on me. I think it kind of illustrated the example. Another friend of mine also has been in the same position where a close friend of his performed Reiki on him, and he felt no measurable difference in his health as well. And the reason was because although we didn't disbelieve it, we were at best open-minded to it. And open-minded does not produce a placebo effect. But believing that it would have worked, if we could have convinced ourselves it was definitely going to work, then we could have got the additional benefits that would have come from that belief. And so that's why I think it's so important. You've seen the charlatans on these different shows. James Randi has often tested psychics, and one of the things that he does is that he does a double blind so that he doesn't know when this event is going to be held, because the psychics commonly argue, oh, well, the trouble is you didn't believe it was going to work, you made it not work. Which I think is kind of a bit bullshit, really. But his belief in whether or not they can read a card, it seems to me not to have any validity at all. But you could understand how, if a Christian believed 100% that they were going to be healed of something, that in some cases that could actually have a placebo effect which genuinely contributes to their well-being. And it's just interesting. As I say, I call it the Tinkerbell effect. And maybe even that's where it came from. Peter Pan. You've got to believe. You've got to believe. And if you do believe, ironically, you actually do get a benefit. And so maybe it might be one case where atheists miss out on something which could be beneficial, even though there is no medical. There's no curative process, as it were. There's no transmission of electricity or curing potion. Just the belief that those things are working actually helps. Just my thoughts on the matter, guys. I'd be interested to hear your opinions. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please take the time to rate and comment, and it would mean a lot to me if you would subscribe. Thank you.